Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Jackie Powell, and this is the afternoon docket for first appearance. For those of you who are on the first appearance docket, today I will let you know if I've determined probable cause, and then we will also talk about release conditions. Please note that today is not your trial date, so you need to keep in mind that anything you say on the record can and will be used against you, so you please speak with your attorney before saying anything on the record. Also, you need to know that in the courtroom, I do have with me not only the attorneys from the Public Defender's Office, but I also have the attorney from the State Attorney's Office. I have confinement status and pretrial supervision, as well as the Clerk of Courts. If you have a private attorney, that attorney will come to the courtroom and will be able to address your case. You'll be able to see them on the monitors as well. If your attorney's not here, you can let us know, and we will see how we can accommodate you through that process if you have the proper information. Just note, though, that if you or your family did not hire an attorney within the last 24 hours, maybe they are not representing you on this case, even if they're representing you on some other matter, all right? We get this all the time, and I try to accommodate, but sometimes folks tell me that they have a private attorney, and then when I make the phone call, they say, no, we're not representing that person on this particular new arrest. So just keep that in mind. I may have to ask you some questions if you tell me you have a private counsel and they're not here, all right? There's one case from this morning, that's Damian Leslie.
Mr. Leslie, there's your private attorney. Come on up, please.
All right.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rachel Cool from Muska Law.
Good afternoon, Ms. Cole. All right, so Mr. Leslie was one from this morning that we were able to determine. Apparently, he does have private counsel.
I explained to the state we haven't entered an appearance yet, but Mr. Reedy called me and Mr. Leslie's wife called me, and so I'm here to handle the bond hearing, but we haven't entered the NOA yet.
Okay, so Mr. Leslie, you are here today on 3 counts of video voyeurism, and the court does find probable cause as to those 3 counts. And I'll hear from the parties as to setting the bond.
Thank you, Judge. I have no probable cause argument. However, as to the amount of the bond and release conditions, Mr. Leslie has no prior criminal history, which I'm aware. He has local ties to the community. He lives here with his wife. He's a longtime Broward County resident. He's not a flight risk. I would ask the court to set bond in the amount of $2,000 per count.
Okay,
Your Honor, I did not see a history. That being said, based on these allegations, I do have a concern for the safety of the community, just based on the nature and the specific facts. Your Honor, I'd be requesting a $7,500 bond, an order of no victim contact, pretrial release with a GPS monitor, and an order that Mr. Leslie not be in possession of any devices with video recording capabilities until further order of the court.
all right. Based on what I've heard, Mr. Leslie not having any priors, at this time, I will grant the $2,000 per count on, and that's also, and no video devices, no devices with video. Okay?
And, Your Honor, in terms of a cell phone, would that apply as well? Because I know most cell phones, if they're a smartphone, would be capable of recording.
Yes,
Okay. I have to get a flip phone
yes.
from
We have to
the,
go borrow
go to
one.
the early 2000s.
Yes. All right,
All right.
all
So
right,
that's
good.
6,000 total, Judge?
Yes,
Okay.
all right, good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you very much. Mr. Leslie, I'll give your wife a call, okay?
Just mentioned.
I'll give your wife a call. Thank you.
Clear
Have a good day, everyone.
You too.
says upon doing a search of the
All right, is there Cespedes Despagnier?
I believe North Broward.
All right, good afternoon, ma'am. You are before the court
Your Honor, we're waiting for the Spanish interpreter for her.
for this defendant?
Yes, for Ms. Despian Cespedes.
Okay, all right, we're waiting for the Spanish interpreter, deputy.
They should be here momentarily.
All right. Crystal
Still
Adams,
Good morning, Judge. Paul Ryan Facility.
all right.
Mr. Adams at court this morning.
Oh, Crystal Adams is in court. We have to
Yes.
reset. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Deputy.
You're welcome.
Carrie Van Dyne.
Medical reset, Judge.
Carrie Van Dyne is a medical reset. Thank you. Stephanie Savory.
John Nago, NGO.
She's here, President Judge. I'm Maine approaching. Come on up, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Savory is before the court. Charge one is DUI, alcohol, or drugs. Third offense within 10 years.
You see if
Number
I've
two,
got
driving
one.
while
Second,
license
we'll docket it.
suspended. Third or
I just
subsequent
get case
offense.
numbers, I don't get
Number
arrest
three,
numbers.
refusing to submit to DUI test. And number
Joshua.
four, unlawful speed. The court does
Yeah,
find probable
Katrina with a
cause.
P.
And as to the bonds, I'll hear from the parties.
I think so, yeah. Okay, great, Deputy, thanks so much. Okay, bye.
Sending a $15,000 bond on count one. Pretrial release with a TAD monitor, no alcohol or intoxicants, no driving until further order of the court. This is actually Ms. Savory's third DUI since 2015. She had one in 2015 in Dade with a breath reading above a .08. She had another DUI in 2016 in Broward, and she was driving on a suspended license at that time as well.
Judge, if the state is finished, I heard as far as the recommendations, what was the monetary amount they asked for? I couldn't hear that.
I believe I asked for 15 on count one.
Judge, at this time, we're going to be requesting, and I just advised Ms. Savory what the state was asking for. We're going to be asking for the court to consider a $3,000 bond on Ms. Savory's behalf. Now, she has been living in our community for the past 12 years. She's 31 years old. She works. She has been working for the same company now for about 5.5 years at the Collections and Fraud Department for a local bank. She lives in Tamarack locally with her mother. Her mother, my understanding, knows she is here, and that's the person she's going to be relying on to help post her monetary bond. Her mother's retired. She is a single mom, raising her 5-year-old child. So, Judge, considering her strong ties, her financial resources, that's why I'm asking for a $3,000 bond on Ms. Savory's behalf.
All right, at this time, the court is going to impose $7,500 bond on count one. That is also going to include a TAD monitor. That means, ma'am, your alcohol levels will be checked before you can drive a car. No alcohol or intoxicants. Okay? All right, good luck. Yes, pre-trial, yes. Juan Martin,
Mr. Martin, come on up, please.
all right, Mr. Martin is before the court. Charge one is a traffic KPS, and number two is a civil writ, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, it's me, Mr. Martin. He wishes to resolve count number one.
One moment, Judge.
Okay?
The documented offer from the state is a withholding court cost.
Okay.
Judge, he wishes to accept the state's offer.
All right, Mr. Martin, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, sir, you can put your hand down. And, Mr. Martin, do you understand everything that has been discussed about your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Don't do drugs or drink.
Okay, and do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
Don't have attorney.
Oh,
That's me.
well,
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm
oh,
good.
okay. And have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand, sir, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
No, I'm a citizen.
All right. Well, what plea do you wish to enter?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. And as to count one, which is the traffic matter, driving while license suspended, you'll be sentenced to withhold adjudication and court costs. Good luck, sir. Eric Jarig.
Bonded.
Okay. And we're waiting for the Spanish interpreter, correct? On Mr. Hernandez Garcia?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And then Stephanie Nicholson,
He's approaching, Judge, here on me.
or is it Stefan? All right, Mr. Nicholson, you are before the court this afternoon for resisting officer without violence, trespassing, occupied structure or conveyance, and then number 3, felony violation of probation, has a no bond hold. The court does find probable cause. Mr. Nicholson, you have court on Monday before your division judge, and the bond on count 1 is $100. Good luck, sir. Rashad Sanders.
Bonded.
Mr. Sanders bonded. Court finds probable cause. Vaden Pierre.
Bonded.
Mr. Pierre bonded. Finds probable cause. Rodriguez Thomas.
Mr. Thomas is approaching.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you are before the court this afternoon. Charge 1, resisting officer without violence. Number 2, trespassing, occupied structure or conveyance. 3 and 4, felony violation of probation, no bond holds. And you go before your division judge on Monday at 9 a.m. The court does find probable cause, and as to count 1, your bond will remain at $100. Good luck, sir. Joshua Bragg.
Mr. Bragg is approaching, Judge. Is here on me. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Bragg, you are before the court. Charge 1 is burglary, unoccupied conveyance, unarmed. Number 2, grand theft. Number 3, grand theft auto. Number 4, resisting officer without violence. And number 5, fleeing with disregard or safety to persons. And the court finds probable cause as to those counts. Does anyone wish to be heard? A bond need to be set on counts 1 and 5.
So he admitted to someone else.
All right, Mr. Romero?
Yes, Judge. I'm speaking of Mr. Bragg. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to afford to post a monetary bond. We were going to ask the court to consider releasing him under pretrial release. Now he's 18 years old. He's been here his whole entire life. At this time, he is not working. He's looking for work, but he's going to be a senior this upcoming fall at Woodham Rogers. He has a 2.0 GPA. He wants to enter a trade school and become a mechanic. Now, my understanding is this is not his first contact with the criminal justice system. He has prior juvie offenses. He lives with his foster parents here locally in Fort Lauderdale. Judge, my understanding, the only person he can really rely on to help him out in any way is going to be his grandmother. But unfortunately, his grandmother is not really in a position to post his bond Unfortunately, his grandfather just passed away this past year, and right now that's affecting his grandmother, and she's really not in a position to post his bond. Judge, oh, I'm sorry, it was a week ago, which his grandfather passed away. Judge, I'm gonna be asking one for a photo order so we can photograph the injuries that Mr. Bragg sustained. And that's why I'm requesting for him to be released on pretrial release, because really there's nobody that's gonna help, post his bond, Judge.
Yeah. One moment, Judge. Your Honor, I'll have to check for his priors, but I would note, I mean, I certainly sympathize with his loss. I really don't know what one thing has to do with the other. He stands here accused today of breaking into a car, fleeing from law enforcement, stealing a car. I mean, I would also imagine someone in mourning wouldn't necessarily conduct themselves like this either.
And what do you
does
say?
Pretrial still have
There was no priors?
I don't know, because it's a reset from yesterday, I'd have to check in the system, unless pretrial has their notes from yesterday.
He does have priors, Judge, we don't want him to mislead the court.
Okay.
Well, he's only 18, so you could, you know.
I'm sorry? Is juvenile probation? Ah,
Does it show what he was on probation for? It's okay, I've got it. Your Honor, burglary dwelling, grand theft, burglary dwelling, trespassing on school grounds, grand theft auto. Again, sorry, very sorry for his loss, but this behavior started well before his, the passing of his grandfather.
all right, I am going to impose a $2,000 bond on count one, and then the other standard bonds will remain. Okay?
And just for count 5, would the court
Oh,
consider
there was
$1,000
5.
bond?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
1,000 on 5. Okay? All right, Terrius Thomas. Terrius,
Oh, Judge,
Terrius.
Mr. Bragg, I don't know if I requested a photo order? Oh, I did? Okay.
I don't know if you did, but I'll sign the order.
Thomas, come on up, please.
All right,
Where's
Mr.
the-
Thomas
I
is
need that
before the
case that I put the
court,
post-it on the
charge
stamp.
1, burglary, unoccupied conveyance, unarmed. Number 2, grand theft. Number 3, grand theft auto. Number 4, resisting officer without violence. The court does find probable cause.
Your Honor, he was placed on pretrial on June 14th for grand theft of a motor vehicle, resisting obstruct without violence, and operating without a valid license in case number 19006123 CF10A. He was actually supposed to appear in court on the 15th, for that case.
There you go again,
But-
turning the lights off.
But his officer was unable to get in contact with him to remind him of that case, that hearing as well. So I'm not sure if the contact information was incorrect, but he wasn't brought into custody until the 18th. So that couldn't have been an issue.
So tell me again, someone could not get in touch with him?
His officer on pretrial tried to contact him to let him know he was due in court on the 15th, and she could not reach him to advise him that he needed to come in after his hearing on the 15th.
Does Mr. Thomas have any other priors?
One moment.
Basically be looking to see if he has juveniles or not.
That's his current case.
When you're in pretrial, you're supposed to call in. I mean, even if the officer,
When they appear in court, they ask them to come to bring whatever court paperwork, because we don't get it right away from the clerk's office.
okay,
So we ask them to report and bring whatever paperwork with them in case they're taken off pretrial. They can't be violated if they were taken off, but we need the paperwork to show proof of that information. And she was unable to contact him to let him know that he even needed to show up to court.
okay.
One moment, I'm looking through his priors now. He had a, here was he going too fast? This was last year, July, a grand theft of a motor vehicle. He had adjudication withheld on that case. And most of his other priors are from juvenile record, since he's only 18.
All right.
Judge, and speaking with Mr. Thomas, he advised me he actually did go to court on July 15th. And after court, he did advise, I believe his pretrial release officer, he said he spoke to someone by the name of Mrs. Baggs and informed that he did go in fact to court. Having said that, Judge, I believe before he was placed on pretrial, he was residing with his mother. Unfortunately, from what he advised me, his mother's on special housing, and one of the conditions is no one can live there if you have any pending felony offenses. So, meanwhile, he's been kind of homeless, but what they've been working on as a family, having him live with his aunt, and he believes that now has gone through, so he's going to be able to live with his aunt. Having said that, Judge, I believe he was out on standard pretrial. Financially, he can't afford any bond. His family cannot afford any bond. I'm going to be asking the court to consider releasing him on level 2 pretrial release, a more stricter form of supervision. He's 18, been here his whole life. He's going to school, Judge. He goes to Sunrise High School. He'll be a senior this upcoming August. He just got his first job 2 days ago working at McDonald's, making $8.64 an hour. Judge, at this time, no one's going to help post his bond, so we're asking for him to be released on level 2 pretrial.
Aaron, and this frankly isn't, to me, this isn't even about whether he went to court or not. Quite simply, he's out, he got the benefit of a straight ROR to pretrial on a grand theft auto. He's now back before the court on felonies very similarly related to the offense he's already out on. And I don't believe, just even if it's a stricter form, just allowing him to ROR again really protects the community.
Well, it's just quite unfortunate. These are just always a little bit alarming, that you're on pretrial, he's on pretrial for grand theft, resisting without violence, operating without a valid license. And today, he's before the court. It's the very similar charge. It's burglary, it's grand theft auto, and again, resisting without violence, the same exact thing. So at this time, on the case number 006123 CF10A, at this time, I am going to grant pretrial's request to revoke the pretrial on that matter. And I'm going to impose a $1,500 bond for count 1. And then I will do I'll do a $100 bond on counts 2 and 3. Okay? And then as to this new arrest, I'll impose a $1,000 bond on count 1, and then the other standard bonds are in place. Okay? Jared Salvatierra.
Bonded, Judge?
Okay. James Jackson.
Your Honor, if we could put this on a,
I'm sorry,
if we could put this on a brief recall?
which one? Jackson?
Yes,
Mr.
please.
Jackson, have a seat, Mr.
All right.
Mr. Hayes, come on up.
Dakota Hayes.
He's approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Hayes, you're before the court. Charge one is possession of cocaine, and number two is possession of drug paraphernalia, and the court does find probable cause. Does Mr.
Judge, at this time, nothing to add. He gave me the phone number of a friend who I intend on calling after court to post his monetary bond.
All right, Mr. Hayes has a $1,000 bond. Antonio Davis.
Mr. Davis, come on up, please. Judge, actually, it's recall.
Okay. Quavon Ellis.
He bonded, Judge.
Mr. Ellis bonded. The court finds probable cause. Irfan Atesnak.
He's here, present, Judge. He's approaching, and Judge, he declined, and he's proceeding pro se.
All right. Sir, you
Hi,
are, hello, you are before the court for one charge of burglary, occupied conveyance unarmed.
Your Honor, with all due respect, I find the charges ridiculous what police officer did to me because this, Mr. Ian Campbell, I have 2 times I put restraining order on him, following me, stalking me, harassing me, and threatening me. That's exactly what he did today. And then when I came to my house, he was around my house.
All right, Mr.
putting an envelope.
Mr. Atesnak, you don't have an attorney, and I cannot
Yes.
give you advice. But I'm
I-
telling you, don't talk about your case today. It's first
Okay.
appearance. You will have your
Okay.
day in court.
I would like, yes,
right.
I would like to.
After this, your case will be assigned to a division judge, and that's the judge that you will go before to set hearings or to have your trial, if that's what you want to do.
Okay, Your Honor.
For
may I
today,
say-
Here's the value.
if you have anything that you wish to say in regards to setting your bond, that's what I will hear at this time.
I would like to say, if you let me.
Okay?
I would like to request court to release me without a bond and give me the chance to bring my evidence on a hearing date because I can prove that I did nothing wrong today. It was just.
Mr. Atesnak, I'm telling you not to talk about the case. All right, state? Does he have any priors?
One moment,
Do I have any?
I see, oh, sir, who are you, and what is it that you need to do?
Are you asking me?
No, sir.
Your Honor,
Yes.
what I can tell you, I see no criminal history. What I can tell you, I've seen Mr. Atesnik has filed numerous, or attempted to file numerous injunctions against the victim. Every single one has been denied by a judge as being not legally sufficient.
It wasn't denied. It was not denied, Your Honor. My
Your Honor, as
attorney
an officer of the court, I can tell you, I see at least three separate petitions that Mr. Atesnik has filed this year. Every single one was denied, citing that he failed to allege facts sufficient to support the entry of an injunction.
Okay.
And the reason I bring this up, Your Honor, is, and I'm sure you've seen cases like this before, Your Honor, where I feel we have a situation that could get more hostile, and I don't think any of us want to see that. I think it's imperative to make sure the parties are apart from one another. Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting at this point in time a $5,000 bond, but I am going to be requesting a pretrial release of the GPS monitor level 2 and order that he stay 100 feet. I see they both live in the same
500
community.
feet?
I'm going to ask for 100 feet, Your Honor. They live in the same community. That can sometimes, with a distance of 500 feet, that can sometimes get a little dicey. But I think, sir, would that be, if you guys see if I have one more. Your Honor, I can tell you what has been described to me, and Mr. Campbell is present, that he estimates that they live approximately 1,500 feet. If you'd like, I could, if it would please the court, I can put both addresses into the system and get an idea how far apart they are. If I could just have one moment, Your Honor.
I, am I allowed to talk now?
Well, if you're gonna talk about your case, I don't want to hear, I don't wanna hear it. Cause I'm
No,
telling
I
you
am not.
that you don't have an attorney. And so I'm telling you that everything you say in here today is being recorded and can be used against you, okay?
I would like to have a hearing date, Your Honor, to bring
Well,
my evidence.
well, sir, it's not going to happen today. Today is first appearance, and as I explained to you before, after today, your case will be assigned to a division judge. And if you wish to go to trial, that judge will hear whatever motions and the trial, if that's what you desire.
Your Honor, I can advise the court, I searched on Google Maps, it shows that the two residences are approximately 0.3 miles apart from each other, which is approximately 1,500 feet. I can confirm what Mr. Campbell told me, that it would appear, physically speaking, they are on different ends of the community.
Okay?
So I don't know that, even if you did order 500 feet, I don't know that that would necessarily cause any complications
Okay.
for either party.
Okay.
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Atesnak, if there's anything that you wish to say, listen to me clearly in regards to setting your bond. Do you have a job? How much money can you afford? That kind of stuff.
What is my bond, Your Honor?
Well, I'm trying to determine how much to set it at.
I mean, I am trying to build a business myself. I don't have really income otherwise.
What kind of business are you building?
I just trying to build a wholesale business. I just started and I have a partner. So
How much money are you putting into the business?
I put right now about what I had like $5,000. It's going to be a small business. So
Do you
we
own
already-
do you own a house?
Yes, I own a house.
And do you own a vehicle?
No, I just lease it. I mean, I pay every month.
Okay, so you're paying for a car. What's the value of the car?
Probably right now 8,000-9,000.
And what's the,
Toyota Corolla.
and what's the value of the house, you think?
I have a roof leak and stuff. Probably around 300,000, something like that, 350.
Okay, all right, all right. So, Mr. Atasnik, here's is there anything else that?
Nothing from the
okay.
state, Your Honor.
All right. At this time, I am going to impose a $5,000 bond. And, and I am going to order you to stay 500 feet away from, the alleged victim, Mr. Campbell, in this matter.
Okay, Your Honor.
Which would suggest, and it, well, also, no victim contact. And what that means, sir, is that there can be no phone calls, there can be no text messages, there can be no third-party contact, there can be no social media contact. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir. Good luck.
So it's, Your Honor, standard pretrial without a GPS?
Standard, yeah, no GPS. Wait, Mr. Atesnak?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't think I made that clear to him, sorry.
It's okay, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Atesnak, you're also going to be on pretrial supervision. And so, once you post your bond, you are going to have to report to the pretrial office. So within 24 hours of your release, once you post your bond, the deputies or the attorney, somebody please hand him the information for the pretrial office.
What's the pre-trial?
I'll tell you. Yes.
The only other thing I would ask if you could advise the defendant, if there are any common areas in this development, and I just don't want to see any confusion. If Mr. Campbell's there, it's on him based on your order that he would have to leave the
All right.
the area.
So, Mr. Atesnak, the attorney handed you the information for the pretrial. You won't get out on time today to get to the pretrial office, and they're not open on the weekends. So Monday morning, first thing, you need to go there. You need to report, you need to sign up. Do you understand that?
When do I have to go?
By Monday morning at 9 o'clock. 9 a.m.
Monday morning?
Monday morning.
But I cannot get out with the bond now?
Sir, it's a bond plus pretrial supervision. Okay? So once you post a bond, you can post your bond today, but what I'm telling you is that the pretrial office is not going to be open at the time they release you. So and they're not open on a Saturday and Sunday, so you have to go on Monday morning. Okay?
Your Honor, please.
No,
I mean,
there's a 500 feet stay away, no victim contact. The onus is on you to stay away. So if you see Mr. Campbell in whatever area, it's going to be your responsibility to go in the other direction. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor,
All
I
right.
understand that.
So we're not gonna discuss anything more, because if you keep talking, I may change my mind. So these are the conditions of your release at this time. Okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, good luck.
And Judge, we're ready to proceed on the gentleman who requires Spanish interpreter.
All right, because the
Oh, our
Spanish
Spanish
interpreter
interpreter
is
is
here. We have several of those, right?
Yes, there's one in North Broward.
Okay, so who is standing next to Mr. Romero?
Mr. Hernandez Salvador Garcia on page 7 of the docket.
Okay. All right, Salvador Hernandez Garcia, you are before the court.
Salvador Hernández García, usted está ante esta corte.
Charge 1 is DUI, alcohol or drugs.
El primer cargo es conducir bajo la influencia de alcohol o drogas.
Number 2 is operating without a valid driver's
El
license.
segundo cargo es operar un vehículo automotor sin licencia de conducir.
Number 3 is a traffic infraction not for magistrate.
El tercer cargo es una infracción de tránsito que no corresponde a este tribunal.
And number 4 is an immigration no bond hold.
Y el cuarto es una orden de captura de inmigración para la cual no hay fianza.
Yes.
On July 17th, the magistrate had on count 1 through 3. He should just be here today for count 4.
Sucedería el 17 de julio, usted lo excarceló por los primeros 3 cargos. Él hoy estaría acá únicamente por el tema de migración.
All right, so the previous conditions on the other charges then remain as was set?
Bien, entonces las condiciones ya establecidas para los otros 3 cargos permanecen vigentes.
And then, just so you know that now that the Department of Homeland Security has a no bond immigration hold.
Y ahora para su información, el Departamento de Homeland Security tiene una orden de captura sobre usted para la cual no hay fianza posible.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
All right, and then where was Sandra Despañes Cespedes? Where? North Broward? Okay. All right, Ms. Cespedes?
Señora Espires.
CES, PEDES? Cespedes.
Céspedes.
Okay. Ma'am, you are before the court on a charge of trespassing on occupied structure.
Señora, usted está ante esta corte por un cargo de entrar ilegalmente en una estructura unoccupied or occupied.
Unoccupied.
Una estructura desocupada.
All right, the court does find probable cause.
Considero que existen indicios probables.
Ma'am, do you wish to resolve your case today?
Señora, ¿desea resolver su caso hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
Does the state have an offer?
La fiscalía tiene una oferta.
It'd be a time served, no return.
Se le acreditaría el tiempo ya descontado y que se le prohibiría regresar al sitio.
Does she have any priors?
¿Tiene antecedentes?
She does, Your Honor, among other things, a prior conviction for aggravated assault.
Sí, su señoría, entre otras cosas, tiene un antecedente en el que fue condenada por lesiones agravadas.
All right, if you wish to resolve your case today, you'll be sentenced to adjudication and time served.
Bien, si usted desea resolver su caso hoy, se le impondrá una sentencia de una condena y se le descuenta se le acredita el tiempo ya descontado.
Do you wish to accept that offer?
¿Desea aceptar esa oferta?
It means, ma'am, that there will be a conviction on your record,
Señora, significa que quedaría una condena en su hoja de delincuencia,
but you will be released today if there's nothing else holding you in custody.
pero usted sería liberada hoy si no hay ningún otro caso pendiente que la mantenga en la cárcel.
Do you understand that?
¿Entiende?
Sí, entiendo. Entiendo ahora.
Yes, I understand.
And then, so do you wish to accept that offer to finish the case today?
¿Desea aceptar esa oferta para cerrar el caso hoy?
Sí, señor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then I'm going to ask you to raise your right
Bien,
hand.
voy a pedirle que levante la mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
¿Jura o afirma solemnemente decir la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
You can put your hand down.
Puede bajar la mano.
Miss, so how do you say it? Cespedes?
Céspedes.
Cespedes. Miss Cespedes, do you understand everything that I've explained to you?
Señora Céspedes, ¿usted entiende todo lo que le he explicado?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Bueno.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
¿Alguna persona le está obligando a resolver su caso?
No, señora.
No, ma'am.
And have you understand that you do have the right to go to trial,
You
but by taking a plea today, you're giving up that right.
Y usted entiende que usted tiene el derecho de ir a juicio. Sin embargo, al aceptar este convenio, usted está renunciando a ese derecho de ir a juicio.
Sí.
Yes.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
¿Alguna vez ha recibido tratamiento para una enfermedad mental o emocional?
Sí.
Yes.
Is there anything about your illness that will affect you making a decision today?
¿Hay algún aspecto de esa enfermedad que impida que usted pueda tomar una decisión hoy?
No.
No.
Está bien.
And do you understand, ma'am, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Y entiende, señora, que si usted no fuera ciudadana de los Estados Unidos, el aceptar este convenio aquí hoy podría exponerla a ser deportada o bien de sufrir algún cambio en su situación migratoria.
Yes.
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter?
¿Cómo se declara?
You can do guilty, that's saying you did it, or you can do no contest, which means that you're just accepting which,
Puede declararse culpable, lo cual significaría reconocer que usted efectivamente cometió el acto en cuestión, o podría decir no me opongo, lo cual significa que simplemente quiere resolver el caso.
No me opongo, pero quiero resolver el caso.
No contest, but I want to resolve the case.
right, you are resolving the case.
Sí, lo está haciendo.
So I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given.
Acepto su declaratoria de no ponerse al cargo. Considero que ha sido externada de manera libre y voluntaria.
And your sentence is adjudication and time served.
Su sentencia será se le acreditará el tiempo ya descontado y se le hallará culpable.
And I will give you 6 months to pay your court costs.
Y le voy a dar 6 meses de tiempo para pagar las costas judiciales.
Good luck, man.
Buena suerte.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you
Muchas
very
gracias.
much.
You're welcome. All right, who else needed the Spanish interpreter? Is Marco Barreto one of them? No. Do we know who else needed the Spanish interpreter?
No one else at Maine, Judge.
All right.
I don't think there was anyone scheduled, although I will say that for some reason the satellite jail did not get the revised second look docket.
Oh,
So I'm having them go track everybody down, so I
okay.
don't know if they have anybody
All right, well, right at this moment then, at any of the other facilities, do we need the Spanish interpreter?
No one at county, Your Honor.
All right, hearing nothing, thank you.
And Judge, I believe you had Mr. Antonio Davis on recall. He's
Yes.
back.
Okay,
Mr. Davis, come on up, please. He's the present judge.
all right, Mr. Davis, you are before the court. Charge 1 is driving while license suspended, third or subsequent offense. Number 2, false ID given to a law enforcement officer. Number 3, expired tag, less than 6 months. Number 4, felony violation of probation that has a no bond hold. Number 5 is a traffic capias. Number 6 is a felony violation of probation, no bond hold. The court does find probable cause. It looks like you do have court next week on Monday and Tuesday before your division judges, and the court finds probable cause and your bonds on count 1 will remain, okay? All right, and then did we have Marco Barreto?
Bonded?
Barreto bonded. And then James Jackson?
No, I'm still waiting on an affidavit from the FDLE agent.
Okay, on Mr. Jackson, you're waiting for information.
Have a seat, sir.
All
They're
right.
still waiting on some information.
All right, so let's go to the hearing dockets then, and then we'll start with the misdemeanor docket. And Keith Wilson. On the misdemeanor docket, page 2, at the top, Keith Wilson.
I don't think
Wilson,
you're at main, Judge.
is that one that we,
It might be, let's see, Judge. Note all imposed.
he's on twice. He's
Got 3.
3. That
I never
was,
got notice he was put on, but yeah,
that was sent to Judge Lerner Wren?
she requested he be added.
Oh, Judge Lerner Wren asked for him to be put on?
There's 2 other complaints.
Oh,
I got that too.
okay.
It says main jail in here, Judge.
It looks like Judge Lerner Wren asked for Mr. Wilson to be put on the
Oh, yeah.
docket.
What is his first name? Because he doesn't show in our paperwork, Judge. That's why.
It's Keivth.
And if we can have his arrest number, and they can pull him that much faster.
I'll look it up.
It's a 581-900-028.
Okay, they're looking him up right now, Judge. Thank you.
And then I'm sure I saw Michael Yellington yesterday.
He just bonded, I've been advised, Judge.
Okay. And then Terry Jennings, so no,
He's here.
okay.
How you doing, man?
I'm well, Mr. Jennings. Mr. Jennings was arrested on July 16th and it's a trespassing charge.
Yes, and Your Honor, the state made an offer of 7 days, adjudication 7 days county jail.
Yeah.
I don't believe Mr. Jennings wanted to accept the offer at that time. The offer's still on the table. Allegations were, and including harassing customers, he was throwing rocks at them.
Okay. So this was 2 days ago. Mr. Jennings, the offer is still 7 days in the Broward County Jail. Do you wish to accept that?
I think you'd have 2 days.
All right.
Okay.
So then we'll take no action at this time, all right? And then we had Mr. Cade this morning,
Yes,
so and he resolved his case.
yeah, exactly.
North Broward, I believe.
He shouldn't be
It's a
there.
moot issue, yeah. Yeah, no, we resolved it.
Right, because he resolved his case, okay, all right. Yes.
Your Honor, just to let you know, I know their MOs, but as a friend of the court, did Judge Lerner Rent state, like,
I don't know.
okay, because I'm just looking, he's got a no bond hold on a felony that he's scheduled for a status hearing
That's
before
on,
Judge Porth in August.
that's on Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Devin, does it show that that felony's been updated at all, that no bond's been changed? You want the arrest number?
Yes, he was on the docket this morning. He took a plea this morning.
I'm just talking about the grand theft. Is it still no bond? Yeah, because I mean,
So Mr. Wilson has a no bond hold
and also I thought.
on
my
a felony
understanding-
matter?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, and before Judge Porth, my understanding was also that all misdemeanors follow felony cases to mental health court.
Oh, I don't know if Judge Lerner knew that he had felony.
Yeah, that's, that, because
Okay.
it's a little weird. He's been in since January of this year, so like all of a sudden,
All right, so let's look at the felony hearing docket then. We have LaPorsche Hunter.
Paul Ryan.
Hunter, Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
All right, it looks like my paperwork says she was arrested May 29th.
yes, Your Honor, and the state has not filed an information at this time, so Ms. Hunter is entitled to an ROR on these charges.
And
Ms.
she also
Hunter-
has a no bond VOP hold on count 3.
Okay. So,
It means that you're entitled to be released on your own recognizance because the state has not filed the charges on count 1 and count 2. But because you have a no bond hold on count 3, you won't be released until you resolve that matter as well.
I'm getting a court date for that already. That's already being handled.
Okay, all right.
well, just so you know, I don't know how it's going to be handled, your VOP. If I grant the ROR today, it means that you stop getting credit on this case. Just in case, I just need to let you know that, just in case the VOP does not get resolved. So it's up to you. I can sign the order granting the ROR, or I can leave it alone until you figure out what's being done on the VOP matter.
No, ma'am. I'm on conditional release, and I already got confirmed that I'm going to be released on my conditional release on the 3rd count. So
All
I'll
right,
take the RR.
all right, so I'll sign the ROR. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Luigi Johnson?
Conti, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Johnson was arrested June 15th. So this is a 30-day motion. Has the state filed the charges?
No, Your Honor, the state has not, so Mr. Johnson is entitled to an ROR on these charges.
All right, so Mr. Johnson, I'll sign the order granting your release today. Sir, please note that you have to pay attention to the mail. It does not mean that the state cannot file the charges after this. Do you understand? Oh, okay. All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Patrina Scott?
North Broward.
How long does that take?
All right, Ms. Scott was arrested June 15th, so this is a 30-day motion.
Your Honor, the state has not filed an information in Ms. Scott's case, so she is entitled to an ROR on these charges as well.
All right, Ms. Scott, I will grant your motion for ROR at this time. It does not mean the state cannot file the charges after this. You need to make sure you pay attention to the mail to see if you have to come back to court, okay?
Okay, so I'm going home today?
If there's nothing else holding you in custody, yes.
Thank you, madam.
You are welcome.
Great.
Freddie Serrano?
Good luck.
Thank you, lawyer.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Mr. Serrano, I don't have his arrest date on my information. When was he arrested? July 16th, so it's a second look? All
I
right.
believe his total bond is $1,500, Judge.
Well, there was a bond surrender on Mr. Serrano, so I don't know what happened on that. Now,
Oh, Your Honor, yeah,
now
what-
my paperwork only has charge 2.
What happened, Your Honor, my understanding is, his bond was posted on the grand theft,
Yes,
and then it was surrendered. He still has the capias on, a $500 capias on a petty theft for failing to appear in court.
So
Judge, Mr. Serrano is asking if on the misdemeanor petty theft, if the court would consider resolving that count.
is it a misdemeanor petty theft?
Not the one before you. He
My
has
tip-
another one that he's being held on that's
Right.
not before the court.
Before me today is before, what I have today on my docket is the felony. This is Mr. Serrano, right? I have a
Yes, ma'am.
grand theft on my,
Yeah, yes, I see two
that's
matters
what's
of-
before, I only have one thing before me today.
Okay.
Yeah, all I have, on my docket is the grand theft. I was looking at the previous paperwork, but, which had the misdemeanor capias or something, but I have a grand theft charge. So, with all of that, I'm just going to leave the bond in place at this time, okay? All right, Shenard Neely,
He's approaching, Judge.
and then Mr. Neely was arrested on, July 15th.
Your Honor,
Yeah, he's a $2,000 bond, Judge. He can't afford that.
Your Honor may recall this was a situation that occurred in an emergency room. Really, it was just a very hostile situation in an emergency room where people were there to receive treatment. Mr. Neely is a career offender in the state of Florida. He just had a trespass July 8th of this year. He also, let's see, another trespass June 27th, another trespass June 14th. Failure to leave property October of last year. In 2015, he was sentenced to 2 years state prison as a habitual offender for failing to register as a career offender. 2012, delivery of cannabis, 30 months as a habitual offender. 2011, possession of cocaine, VOP, 30 months. Resisting without violence, 09, battery, 09. Grand theft auto, assault against a law enforcement officer, aggravated fleeing and eluding, 97, 10-year state prison as a habitual offender. 96, robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon with a VOP, 77 months state prison as a habitual
Was there
offender.
any indication that we discussed that maybe there are some other issues going on here
There,
with this?
there might be,
Because the probable cause affidavit is pretty much with him jumping over the triage area, jumping up on there may be some other things going on here. At this time, I'm going to deny the request for ROR. And Mr. Neely probably needs to speak with his attorneys a little bit more. All right. Joshua Walker.
North Broward.
Hey, how are you doing, Your Honor?
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker was arrested on July 15th, so he's here for a second look at his bond status.
Yes, ma'am.
What, he has $500?
It's $500, Your Honor. Based on the reports, I don't believe he has ties to the community. It shows High Point, North Carolina addresses. And I think it was very reasonable that Your Honor kept the bond at $500, considering the estimated damage to the business was $18,000.
Judge, Mr. Walker is seeking to be released on pretrial release. He indicated to me he will not be leaving the state of Florida. He will stay and resolve these allegations.
Yes, ma'am.
And he did give me the phone number of his mother, so I'm going to be contacting her as soon as I can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Where does she live again, Joshua?
Somewhere in Virginia. I never know with her, to be honest with you. Sometimes she goes on vacation. I come down here
Yeah,
for
I
music.
believe we got some of that information.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
he's got a pending grand theft also in Virginia, so
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's going back to Virginia. So I have no confidence that releasing him on pretrial, so I'm going to leave the $500 bond in place, okay?
I don't have grand theft.
Diana Culbertson.
North
I
Broward.
don't have grand theft.
All right, sir, we're done. Is Ms. Culbertson there?
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello. Ms. Culbertson was arrested on July 16th, so she's here for a second look at her bond. She's has $1,000.
Yes, and Your Honor, part of the concern I had, Your Honor, is I looked at her booking sheet and her affidavit, and it appears that she was advising law enforcement that she has lived essentially her entire life in South Florida. She has a substantial criminal history, I believe, out of the state of Massachusetts, which would certainly reflect at a minimum that she spent several years residing in Massachusetts. Forget about the fact that there was criminal activity going on at that time.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Sure.
I told them that I left the state of Florida at about 2012 and that I recently came back to the state of Florida. And yes, that I did have some troubles in Massachusetts. I've been dealing with a lot of grief and loss, and I just didn't know how to deal with it.
When,
I lost
when
my
you say
son,
you returned recently, when was that you came back to Florida?
January
And
of this year.
and who are you living with?
I've been in treatment,
Where-
and the past
where?
couple weeks.
Where have you
I-
been in treatment?
I was at BARC IRT, and I was also at Stepping Stones was the most recent, and I left Stepping Stones about 2 weeks ago.
Well, why did you leave Stepping Stones?
I was really aggravated. I wanted to
So
get
where are you living now?
I've been living at friends' houses here or there, going to shelters.
As Ms. Culbertson did indicate to me, Judge, she graduated from Deerfield High. And she did give me the number of her niece, your niece, Ashley, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you've already spoken to Ashley?
I have not, as of yet, but I don't think she's gonna be able to make this monetary bond, with her financial situation right now, Judge, since she's been in rehab and has not been, able to work and do the rehab at the same time. She also has some physical health issues that concern me. So, I don't know. Could you stay with Ashley, Ms. Culbertson?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say no, because I haven't spoken to her in a little over a week.
Okay.
All right. I'll release Ms. Culbertson to pretrial supervision. It's going to include random drug testing. And you may want to look into going back to one of those facilities if you're still having issues.
I have been considering it, Your Honor.
Well, I think you need to stop considering. It sounds like you need to actually do it. So the deputy is going to give you the information for the pretrial office. Today is Friday, and you're at the North facility, so there's no way you're gonna get out in time to sign up today. Which means that Monday morning, first thing, you need to be the first person in line at 9 a.m. at the pretrial office.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are also going to be subjected to random drug testing, so just so you know, that's going to be part of your supervision.
Okay.
All right?
Alrighty.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Corey Irvin.
Released, I believe, Judge?
Mr. Irvin, did we say, we probably said that. All right. So, we're only waiting to handle Mr. Jackson.
Conti has 2, Your Honor.
Oh,
Maine has, I believe, Judge, one more.
which is who?
Right? Oh, we got one was on recall, and the other one is Mr. Quentin King.
Oh, boy. Is that on for a first appearance?
No, that was for a second look. He was actually on the second look yesterday, but since we canceled court.
Oh, boy.
Same with the Conti, Matthew Perry, who was on yesterday's.
Mr. Quentin King, Judge, my understanding, he's being held no bond on a traffic criminal offense. He was originally being held no bond. It was attached to a felony, a grand theft on case number 19 6214 CF10A. That Grand Theft Auto was no info, and then this was basically filed on its own on 1918392 TC10A, in which he has no court date, but he's being held no bond. So, Judge, considering now he has no other pending felony offense, that felony with no info, he wishes to resolve this matter today.
Okay, do we know what the charge was? This is,
Yeah, what happened was, Your Honor, he was arrested, when he was first arrested, he had a felony, either grand theft or, I think grand theft auto,
this is King, right? Yes,
operating without a valid DL.
okay,
He was put on pretrial, he violated pretrial, the judge signed a warrant holding him no bond on both charges
Right.
on pretrial. We no info, the grand theft auto, still no bond on the operating without. If he wants to resolve it, the offer is adjudication time served.
all right. And Madam Clerk, is that something, you have the paperwork for that? No, I don't. You have, because but you can put it in? Okay. All right, so Mr. King, what's his first name?
Quinton?
Quinton. All right, so Mr. King, you've heard this discussion. Do you wish to resolve your case with that offer?
Yes.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear, the other one? You swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And Mr. King, do you understand everything that we've discussed here today about your case?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
And sir, you understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes.
And sir, have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No.
And do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter, sir? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence, sir, is adjudication and time served. And Mr. Romero, just so that we're clear, what's the case number again?
It was 1918392 TC10A. That's the new case number, but I don't know in BSO Picks if it's still reflected as his old case number, which would be 186214 CF10A.
Okay. You got it, Madam Clerk? You have the, okay, yeah. All right. Okay, thank you. And then at Conti?
Conti, yes, ma'am.
Who do we have now?
I have one guy from yesterday and then today's 30-day. Matthew Perry from yesterday
Do you have
and Ronald Jackson from today's 30-day.
Well,
Neither are on the document.
I don't have Mr. Jackson though, if he's on today.
I know, Deb.
Well, you know what? All things considering, 3 is not so bad.
Well,
right?
actually, there's one more.
Oh.
I just got an email that a gentleman by the name of Darren Brown, who is not represented by the Public Defender's Office, has been in custody for over 30 days.
Sorry, that's.
Is that, no, so is that somebody who was on the docket yesterday? There's those, if he wasn't, then we're not,
No, he was supposed to have been placed on the docket for this afternoon,
oh.
but he wasn't.
All right.
Never been previous notice of that.
Let's,
No, I know, I
the
just got
ones that we had
notice
previous notice of, we're gonna try and accomplish. So who do we have here?
This is Ronald Jackson on today's 30-day.
Even though you, Deputy, you know, even though you say today, I don't have it on my
I mean,
docket.
I can advise you, Your Honor, because I did get the notice from the Public Defender's Office.
Okay, on Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, and it has been
Okay.
filed, Your Honor, the state filed, one moment, let me, one moment, Your Honor.
And if we can, make sure that we give the clerk the correct case
Well,
number?
I will give all the information, Your Honor.
Okay,
It's 197680 CF10A,
okay.
and the charge, I'm sorry? No, this is a motion to release, 30-day
This is
motion.
a 30-day motion.
And, Your Honor, the charge is robbery, no weapon. The state filed an information yesterday as presented. And just, I don't know if it's an odyssey, but I can tell you the filing number we received from e-filing is 927-71753.
All right, so Mr. Jackson, you are brought before the court for a 30-day motion for release. The state has informed me that they have formally filed the charges as of yesterday. And so at this time, I'll deny the motion for release, and moving forward, you'll be before your division judge, okay? All right, and then who else did we have, Deputy?
This is Matthew Perry from yesterday's.
It's a he was up for a second look yesterday for a trespass, Your Honor.
Okay,
I can tell you, reviewing this, the state's he allegedly trespassed at Coconut Creek Plaza. The state's offer was an adjudication, time served, no return. I don't know, frankly, I can't remember if, I'm guessing he did not, obviously didn't accept the state's offer, he was not interested in
all
resolving
right, Mr. Perry, what do you want to do with your case? I don't remember if you were one that said you wanted to go to trial.
I wanted to go to trial.
I think
Not
so.
guilty. Yeah, not guilty.
I remember that, and I believe, all right, so Mr. Perry wants to go to trial, and I'm leaving his bond, I think it was $25.
It is.
All right? All right, good luck, Mr. Perry.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Wilson was brought? At Maine?
I only know of one person left.
Who was brought?
Mr. Keith Wilson. You
Oh, yes,
addressed his
Keith
name earlier today,
Wilson
and I
is
have no
on,
information.
he's on my docket. He's on this docket, on the misdemeanor docket. But this is okay, so Mr. Wilson, I believe, was requested by Judge Lerner Wren for him to be placed on the docket for a second look. However, I think the information is that he also has a no bond hold. And I don't know if Judge Lerner Wren knew that he had a no bond hold. I guess maybe she saw that there were municipal ordinance violations and wanted to give him an opportunity to resolve the cases, so. But he has 3 cases on my docket, it's 3 municipal ordinance, they're all municipal ordinance violations.
Oh, they're city charges.
Okay, but I can still resolve these just because I got the other case. I can still resolve these.
Well, what I don't know is, I don't know the dates for the other cases.
What other cases? The municipal ordinances?
No, I'm talking about your
The no
felony
bond hold?
charge, yes.
Felonies, don't worry. That's taken care of, Your Honor. That's in the process of being taken care of already.
Well, it's 2 different things. It's either in the process or it has been. And so if it's in the process, I don't know anything about that case to know if when you resolve these cases, if there's going to be any effect. And so that's,
It doesn't. It's okay. That's fine.
Your Honor, if you want me to provide.
Please, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, on July 11th, Judge Poor signed an order that I guess he has multiple felony cases, he's only being held on one, that Mr. Wilson was found competent. So technically speaking, as a friend of the court, I don't know that there's anything that would stand in the way if Your Honor was inclined to resolve these matters.
Okay, I see. All right.
And that might be I think that might be why Judge Lewin.
Okay. All right, well, these are all open container charges. So, Mr. Wilson, if you wish to resolve the case, I'll sentence you to adjudication and time served on all, there are 3 cases that are on my docket today.
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And Mr. Wilson, you understand everything that we've discussed here today?
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
And do you understand, sir, that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes.
And have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No.
And do you understand, sir, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Wilson? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. And your sentence is adjudication time served on all 3 cases. Okay? All right, good luck, sir. All right.
Your Honor,
there's
We
one
want to
last
proceed with
gentleman
Mr.
here.
Jackson, James Jackson.
It was Mr.
Um,
James Jackson, James Edward Jackson.
Okay,
Your Honor, in full candor,
yes.
I'm going to be asking, and I think the court should find no PC at this time. It does not mention that the cocaine was field tested. I've spoken with Agent Success of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and DEA Joint Task Force. He is going to, I expect him to be getting me an affidavit by the end of business today to have for Judge Murphy tomorrow.
Okay,
Is that a request for a 24-hour reset?
Yes.
Which I think you're entitled to that.
as I find no
I
probable
wasn't, I
cause.
wasn't, asking for, that Judge Murphy doesn't have enough leisurely reading to do.
All right, so I find no probable cause then, and grant the state the 24 hours perfection.
And the only thing I would ask, Your Honor, just so there's no, since none of us are going to be here tomorrow, unless Mr. Reedy or Your Honor had any other issues, if you could list that there was no field test.
24 hours perfection.
Well, I did, actually. I think that I see numerous motions being filed in this case down the road, and it looks like the police were actually following this other fellow around. And they searched his house, and they found 5 kilograms of cocaine inside a red bag. And they had seen him with a brown bag. They had seen Mr. Jackson hand him a brown
Oh,
bag.
Mr. Reedy, you'll have your day in court, no probable cause, and he has 24 hours.
But it's with regards to the
granted.
field test?
Yes.
But I was just getting warmed up.
I know. Save it for another day.
I will. I will save it for another day.
All right, does that, did we cover everyone now?
I think, oh, Mr. Brown, the gentleman I had mentioned, he's actually on Monday's docket,
Okay,
I'm told. So
All right.
we'll take care of him then.
all right, thank you, everyone.
All right, Judge, have a great